Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and as always, thank you for tuning in. I've got an itch to catch a catfish today, but I do not have a lot of time out here. So what I'm planning on doing is just dropping a couple baits, see if I can get them in front of a couple active fish. If I can do that successfully, these fish are gonna bite. Y'all are gonna see that, and hopefully you enjoy it. If I don't get on an active bite, well, y'all are never gonna see this video because I'm not going to post a video where I don't catch any fish. So I'm going to get a bait drop down and just see if I can't make something happen out here today. It's a nice day. Any day now, things are going to turn off hot and these fish are going to start moving up to spawn. And when they start spawning, those bites are going to be real few and far between. So who knows what the bite, they could be doing that at any time now. So we'll see what the bite is like out here today. If they're spawning, those bites are going to be hard to find. But I'm just going to go see if I can find one or two and see what we can make happen. So let's go get to it. Hopefully we catch some fish. Let's have some fun today. All right, I've got a bait cut. That's a piece of cut crappie. That's going to be what we're fishing with out here today. We're just going to be suspending these baits directly beneath the kayak. We're fishing a shallow, relatively small body of water here. We've had some rain recent, so the water level is actually a little bit higher than what I've seen it for quite some time, and we've got a little bit of current out here today. So I don't know if you can see or not, but our baits are getting pushed just a little bit with the current. Shouldn't be a big deal, shouldn't really impact the way that the bite occurs, but a little bit of current to deal with out here today, and we'll just see how or if that impacts what these fish are doing. But we just let these baits suspend for a while, sit on these spots that got good structure in the water with a little bit of depth, and just give it some time. We'll sit on each spot for about 5 minutes. Nothing happening, we're gonna move on. We're just trying to drop these baits right in the face of an active fish, and if something doesn't bite in the first 5 minutes or so, then we're just moving on, gonna go see if we can find a different fish somewhere else. Okay, we got something there. I was working on, oh, that was a totally unsuspected bite. That camera turned the right direction. I was working on getting the kayak situated, and then actually thought I had the bait there sitting on a snag, and just kind of went to pick it up, and it turned out to actually be a fish swimming with that bait. So I'm really shocked that a fish hit while I was making as much racket and kind of rocking the kayak as much as I was. But regardless, we got our first fish of the day on. It looks like it's going to be a pretty decent channel cat. So at least sitting here on this hole, the current hasn't been a problem for us. And my experience has been that a little bit higher water level actually, you know, in the past for me has turned into more bites and kind of got these fish a little bit active when the water levels have come up and the currents are a little bit swifter on this body of water. But it does add some additional challenge with fishing from a small kayak like I am when you're dealing with a little bit swifter current. But at the end of the day, we've got another fish on the end of the line, and that's what I'm out here for. So it didn't take too long. We're still sitting on that first spot where I dropped that first bait, and only been 3 or 4 minutes or so maybe, and had fish come through. So give him a second to kind of wear himself out, and we'll get him landed. Oh, he's going to show out for us now. It's one thing you can always count on is when you go to land these channel cats, that as soon as you get them, and for good reason, get them near to the kayak, that's when they're going to do their most rolling and thrashing. Something I've said about 100 times, and I'll keep saying because it's a really important point to keep in mind, or to bear in mind, is when you go to land these fish, be really cautious about getting that line rubbing up against the side of your kayak. It can turn problematic really quick. Be a great way to lose a fish. So what I'm gonna do is put the rod, well, get that fish back over here. He kind of swam off on me there. Get my hand on the line, put the rod in the rod holder. We're gonna just try to hold that line away from the side of the kayak to prevent severing the line. Just wait for him to open his mouth and get a hold of him. Get him in. That fish is hooked perfectly. Got that circle hook doing its job right in the corner of the mouth. Get the pliers in there and get it popped loose. Alright, looked like we might have got a little bit of water on that lens, so hopefully y'all can see. We'll get this fish held up for a picture here. Man. Oh, that's what makes these fish fun to catch, though. They got a lot of fight in them. A lot of fight. He's going to talk to us a little bit, too. Really, really nice fish. An odd bite. Dealing with the kayak, kind of messing with stuff, and not really expecting the bite to occur at the time that it did. But regardless, we got a fish out of the deal, so that's pretty awesome. I just thought, because I kind of been floating over here towards the bank and my line kind of moving around and doing that kind of thing, I just sort of thought that my bait was snagged and I needed to work it free, and I lifted up to work it free and ended up just actually being a fish on. So don't know if it's just the timing of it or if it was just kind of a slow strike, not really a real aggressive take it and run like you tend to get sometimes with these channel cats. But either way, ended up putting a really nice fish in the kayak, and I'm always grateful for that. So we're gonna get this fish released, see if we can go find another one. We'll sit here right where we're at, drop another bait, see if we can get another bite, and if not, then we'll move on and try to get a bait in front of another active fish. There he goes. All right, well, that's one bait gone. I didn't bring a lot of bait with me out here today. Pull my bait bag out of the cooler. Ow, I got myself. We'll get our kayak paddle out of the way there, get another bait cut. I didn't bring a lot of bait with me just because the bite hasn't been real great, honestly, lately. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna need more than one bag of bait, so I didn't bring much. But you never know. And I don't have a lot of time out here too, so I kind of figured with the amount of time that I got and the way that the bite's been lately, I'm not gonna need more than what I brought with me. But just in case I do, I typically don't use the tails on these bait fish that I'm cutting. I usually get 2 baits per. Use the head bait and the midsection, and they both work well, and I usually toss the tails. But I've been saving the tails out here today just in case I end up needing them. I'll try to get this bait on the way I like. I like to kind of run that, when I'm using these head baits, run that hook kind of through the bottom of the gill plate and out one of the nostrils. Seems to be an effective way to hook that bait. So all we're going to do is get our line undone from around the end of our rod. We're just going to drop another bait down. I'm going to get this kayak a little more secure, and we're going to drop the bait down right here where we're sitting and just see if there might be another fish wanting to bite in this area, and if not, then we'll move on. Well, everyone, started out so great and then just nothing. This year on the river has been really difficult. I'm finishing out the trip, fishing a spot here from the bank, then I'm getting out of here. If a fish hits in the next few minutes while I'm fishing here, then you guys will see that. You'll end up seeing this video. If a fish doesn't hit, I'll have to look at the footage. We'll see. We'll see how it turned out, and I don't know. I'm undecided if it's worthwhile to post a video with only one fish. Bright side is, if I do post it, it's gonna be a quick one for you, so it won't take a whole bunch of time to watch. But man, the fishing on the river this year has just not been good. I don't know why that is. We're going on year, I think, 4 now of drought and low water conditions. Maybe that's got something to do with the poor fishing out here this year, but last year was the best year I've ever had fishing on the river. And for whatever reason this year, I mean, so far this spring, it's looking like it's going to turn out to be one of the worst. So I don't know what the deal is. I just can't get anything going. So it is what it is. You just do your best. You put your time in. Eventually things will come together for you. So that's what I'm doing, just trying to bide my time. But again, like I said, if we get another bite here, then we'll have another fish here for you guys to see on this video. And if not, then I don't know, but that's the end of the trip. And regardless of whether I'm catching fish out here or not, I'm always having fun. As soon as I stop having fun doing this, that's the time that I know that it's time for me to put the fishing rods away and move on to something else. But as long as I'm having fun, that's the main thing. And I hope you guys enjoy watching with me while I'm filming and bringing you along on these trips. So if you don't, well, you've got the luxury of clicking off the video. So anyways, appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.